So if you've been in one of these before, you know that I'm with Medici, and I'm also in the hospital. I'm actually an emergency medicine doctor and an infectious disease specialist. And in my world, emergency medicine doctors are considered the experts in toxicology. But the reality is we're experts in acute toxicology. When what you'll learn today is almost all the problems from toxins are due to chronic low-grade exposures, things you don't know you're doing to yourself. So 31 is the team that played golf with me yesterday. That was what I shot on the back nine. No. So if you haven't opened up your file yet, you're going to get some numbers that are going to talk about your exposure. This is my pesticide exposure. So turns out I'm greater than the 99th percentile for a pesticide, something called permethrin. That is a disease that causes tremors, headaches, fatigue, all kinds of problems. And I was thinking about what on earth, so you'll get your results back and you're going to start to say, what am I being exposed to? And it turns out about 4 years ago, as I took this job at Medici, I got really interested in a better diet. And I started being really healthy and doing superfoods. And one of the easiest ways to do superfoods is to do a nice smoothie, right? And so I was poisoning myself with my smoothies. I was putting in non-organic berries, which are highly concentrated with permethrin. So this is literally a Carmel, Monterey area strawberry farm. And you see they have signs that look like Chernobyl sitting outside the farm. So I was doing exactly what I thought I should be doing, not really even having a clue about my own toxicity. You guys are probably doing some of the same things. So the story that Clint gave, that gentleman also was eating tuna on a regular basis. Tuna more than once or twice a week is related to mercury poisoning. You may be having a nice smelling candle in your house that's broadcasting carcinogens and forever toxins. You may have pesticides like my wife was bringing into our home that were shooting all kinds of things, because I got stung twice in 1 year by a scorpion. I moved to Austin. I'm like, God, are you all, every day I go to work, are you guys getting stung by scorpions? And like, I've never been stung. It's like, my wife putting them in my bed? What's going on? And then in the case of this tuna, if you're doing tuna 3-4 times a week, you may be giving yourself a heavy metal intoxication as well. So that's the whole point, is we think we're doing things sometimes for ourselves that aren't healthy. The last thing there is vitamin A, and this is a hot one right now. You can order this vitamin A supplement right now. You wouldn't know that you're accidentally ordering 3 times the safe dose and you're taking it every day to try and avoid measles. You don't need 250,000 units a day. You need a smaller amount. So people are doing things that are hurting themselves on a regular basis. And that gets at the father of toxicity. This Paracelsus gentleman back 500 years ago said, hey, everything's a poison. The poison is in the dose. And that's really true if you think about it, and people are saying, no, it's not true. Actually, water, if I give too much water to a baby, that baby will have seizures. If I give too much oxygen to a baby, that baby's eyes will be permanently damaged. So everything is a poison, and in reality, for every 1 acute intoxication, there are 800 deaths a year in the world from chronic low-grade exposure to toxins. So we're talking about the wrong things in medical toxicology, and the right things are these chronic exposures. So I'm here to be the bad news. I love being the bad cop sometimes as well. So I get to tell you that only second to heart disease is chronic low-grade exposure to toxins in terms of deaths in the world. That's WHO, that's international numbers. So it's estimated that 15.6 million people a year die prematurely because of exposure to toxins, as opposed to only 20,000 from acute intoxication. So that's a crazy differential. Almost everybody breathes bad air on a regular basis. If you live in some places, it's much more. But the reality is the easiest way for things to get all around the world that are toxic is through the air. And that's why you can't go anywhere in the world now and not find forever toxins in the soil, because the air is bringing it to there, as well as the water. It's estimated now that 93% of all cancer is due to chronic low-grade exposure to toxins or poisons. And the last thing is we are eating a toxic diet. So only 1.5 or thereabouts % of people in America are eating what is considered a healthy diet according to the American Heart Association. So this is the air. So there's really 4 exposures I want you to remember. It's the air we talk about, it's the water we talk about, it's the products as well. And if you live in LA, anyone from LA in the crowd? Oh, don't go home. Last year in LA, there were fewer than 100 days with safe air. Sorry. Texas, we get about half that. So we have bad air as well. But the reality is we're breathing bad air no matter where we go, and we're often bringing it into our homes as well. The water we drink, we think we're paying all this money for a healthy water district. But the reality is, in Texas last year alone, there were over 20,000 violations of their own restrictions on limits of toxins in the water. And so that's a regular exposure that we're having. So we're often getting water in public places that's unsafe, but we're also drinking it when we're thinking we're drinking safe stuff in our own homes. And then the food we eat, this is kind of what the average college student's food pyramid looks like around it. So you learn to start with a base of Fireball, and you really cap it off with Slim Jims. But the truth is, we have 60% of our calories in America, 60% are due to ultra-processed foods. So the vast majority of our calories are coming from things that not only have toxins in them, but our body converts them to toxins in the form of what we call metabolic disorder. So we are poisoning ourselves with the food we eat, even sometimes when we think we're doing healthy things like tuna or smoothies. And the last thing is the products we're exposed to. So average household has 300,000 products in the home, of which 150 chemicals we put on our bodies purposely every day, the average American, that are toxic. It adds up to 25 gallons of toxic stuff we're putting on our body every day. This is just one of the many chemicals that we were testing for in your urine today. And what we found is that everything in your household has some of these forever plastics in them. And so there's a lot of things that we think are, that's just part of living, that are actually part of the problem. These cause cancer, they cause endocrine problems, they cause birth defects, they cause all kinds of problems. So I'm the bad news. There's some good news coming, but it's our air, it's our water, it's the food we eat, and it's the toxic products we bring into our homes and get exposed to on a regular basis that are killing us. But there is an answer. Dr. Vo has the answer. Thank you.